Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video, I'm going to create an effect that was inspired by what I saw over here. So this is the website for the band, the Red Wanting Blue, and a great band, by the way, out of Ohio. If you get a chance, there's a live stream concert you can get tickets for. I'll try to get this video out before that concert. So it's kind of a neat effect. They've got some images, and they have the reverse version of the image here, kind of almost like a reflection effect here, with some headline text or big title text. I think they should have made this a hyperlink so that it's a call to action, so we'll do that on ours. And let's get to it. Now, I've got a page set up where I was anticipating this, but let's get to work. Now, the HTML for this is going to be pretty simple. Let me zoom in so it's easier for you to read what I'm doing. And in the body of the page, I'm just going to do a div with class equals photo. And then anticipation of this headline, you could do this later on, but I'll go ahead and do an H1 on here, assuming this is the main headline for the page. And let's make it a hyperlink so that it's a call to action. I'll just do a dummy hyperlink, and we'll just put in a heading text here. There we go. That is all we need for the HTML. Cool. All right, the rest of our work is going to take place up in the style section. Now, before I started the video, I did a little search on Unsplash for person white background. I just thought it would be cooler that way. So I went ahead and saved a version of this photo right here of the woman kind of arching her back there with that solid white background. Now, for this effect, I think to look really cool, it would help if our body background had that same basic color. Or obviously you can load that image in Photoshop and take that background out. That would probably be the smartest way to go. But I don't have any Photoshop skills, so I'll just do it this way. I'll set the background color, and I'll just do FFF. Might be a little off, but I'll adjust that soon enough. Okay, so that's pretty good there. Now let's get to work with our photo, okay? Now, I'm gonna style the photo and kind of the reflection at the same time, because both the photo and the reflection are both going to have the same image. So I'm going to style my dot photo, comma, my dot photo, I guess we can do, let's do an after. So we'll do an after pseudo element there. And that's going to contain a few things. So definitely it's going to have that, I'll go ahead and set the width, 250 pixels, and a height of about 400 pixels. And I'm going to do a margin on there. Ooh, no, I don't want to do a margin there, because I want the margin for the photo to be separate than that. But we can definitely put this in. So it'll be the background image, URL, and let's see, where am I at? I need to go to my CIS 195 folder, my images folder, and I've got it, woman white background right there. And I'm going to go ahead and do background size cover and background position center. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Let's see what we've got here. All right, so my image is off over there to the side. That's not too bad. It's kind of hard to tell. I think I can see this slightly different off-white for the background of the photo. I think I'll go ahead and remedy that. Instead of FFF, I'm going to try FE. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And might be able to go a little darker, I suppose. FD. Cool. I'm sure people with sharp eyes can spot that difference, but I think that's going to work well for our purposes. Excellent. All right, so now that you can really appreciate this, let me jump down and let's style just the photo itself. Now remember, my photo is going to be the div, so I'm not styling the pseudo element yet, even though I'm prepared to. The pseudo element, for the most part, doesn't exist yet. I'm styling it, even though it's not really there. So for my photo, I'm definitely going to do a margin, 200 pixels, top and bottom, auto left and right. That's going to get this image centered horizontally in the space. And by the way, I've got blinders on right now. I'm ignoring that little heading text here. That'll be probably one of the last things that we style. Okay, so I've got this photo in the center. Now I know I'm going to be positioning the pseudo element in here, so I think I'm also going to put in a position relative. I'm almost always positioning absolute a pseudo element within its parent, so this is a pretty normal thing. So my dot photo is kind of like the parent. It's going to be position relative so that I can position absolutely the pseudo element, which we will start doing right now. Dot photo, colon, and this is going to be after. So here's the pseudo element. I'm definitely going to do content, empty set of quotes. It's probably already a block element, so no need to do display block. However, I often do this just out of habit, just to kind of confirm to myself that, yeah, well, now that I've got that display block, let's go ahead and position it absolutely. Now, where do I want to position it? Normally, I'll start with something like top 0 pixels, left 0 pixels, just to kind of get a feel for it. Now, remember, my pseudo element is exactly the same size as the parent. So that we can see this in the short term, I'm going to put a border on it, 2 pixels solid red. And so now we'll see that it's really right on top of that, but I don't want it to be on top. I'm going to position it downward, negative 400 pixels. I'm getting that 400 pixels, by the way, because the height of the parent is 400 pixels. And, oops, I went the wrong way. I need to do a positive 400 pixels, it looks like. There we go. So now these two images are adjacent to each other. Not quite done yet, but the hard work is over. I'm going to take this pseudo element and do a transform scale y -1. This is going to give me a mirror flip going vertically. And so there we go. So it's upside down. It's kind of like a mirror reflection. And then we can follow this up with filter blur. Now when you do the blur, we'll put some pixels in here. I like to start off 10 pixels is actually pretty blurry, so we'll see how that looks. And there we go, we got that blur. Let me get rid of that red border. That's served its purpose for sure. Cool, all right, pretty happy with that. Now in addition to transform scale Y, or actually in addition to filter blur, we can do a few other things. There's a hue rotate. Nope, not that one. Hue rotate, there we go. And you can put in, you know, like a degrees here, be part of the color wheel. So I could do something like 200 degrees. I don't know what those are, by the way, I'm just guessing. Well, it kind of makes a bluish color. If I did 280, what does that look like? Refresh, kind of a pinkish purple. Cool, all right, I'll go with that. But now we've got that part and we're pretty good with our reflection right there. So now I just need to take care of that heading text. Remember, I got this headline 1 with a hyperlink in there. Well, fortunately, my parent, my dot photo, is already position relative. It is, right? Yeah, there it is right there, position relative, which means I can also take dot photo h1 position absolute. Now, I don't want to position this based on hard numbers because I don't know what text is going to be in there and I don't know how wide it's going to be or how tall it's going to be. So I am going to position it absolutely, but I'm not going to base it on the size of that headline text. I'm going to go to the bottom 0 pixels and left 50%. Let's see how this is going to work. And so that we can see it in the short term, outline 2 pixels solid red. All right, so there it is. Not bad, not bad. Let's make it really big so that we can see it. Font size 7M. Excellent. And excuse me, I also want to do this. White space, I want no wrap. I don't want it to wrap multiple lines, one solid line. Good. So it's getting roughly where I want it to be. However, I need to use the transform translate property to adjust it based on the width and the height of that text. Transform translate. So I want to move it left 50%. So I'm going to do a -50%, if I can type it, comma 50% on the Y. That'll move it down. That should get it in a pretty good spot. Yeah, I like that. Now you can see my blurry reflection is going on top of that. No big deal. I'll just slap on a good old Z index of 2, and that'll put it on top. I like that. Now let's just make sure we style the hyperlink inside. Dot photo h1 anchor. Text decoration none. Get rid of the underline. And color. Nice bold black. How does that look? That looks pretty darn good. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's do a heading background color of black. Really sharp contrast there. And then we'll do a color of this text as white. But on this headline 1, I'm also going to put some padding on there. Let's just do like 16 pixels of padding top and bottom and like 40 pixels left and right. So it'll make that big chunky headline. Let's get rid of that outline that is no longer necessary. All right, I like it. And yeah, and this of course is a big hyperlink. If you want to, if you want to see more of that reflection, you can obviously take away some of that blur. Instead of 10 pixels, what if I tried something like 6 pixels? Yeah, it becomes a little bit more defined. Cool. And it should be pretty easy to swap out images. I noticed I had another image here. Let me click on this one real quick. I'm going to download small. And I'm going to save it at the same place. In fact, I'm just going to save over my last image, and that should be enough with that same file name on there. Save. Yep, I'm going to replace that. And now we should get an instant change right there. That looks pretty cool. Too bad there's a little crop there, but otherwise the effect looks pretty nice. And there is our image with a blurry reflection with a call to action text right there in the middle, inspired of course by the site over at Red Wanting Blue. Thanks for hanging out with me. Take care.